bahasa Inggeris yang didakwa menyebarkan maklumat Zara Khairina.
Yeah, so good evening. Yes, here we are. Oh, sorry, one moment. Yes, so yeah, I can see I've seen a statement from at Ino to Zalomes. I've seen a statement from Ino to Zalomes, who is I believe is the elder sister to Maria Zalomes. Yeah, I've seen that that statement. It is alluded to her. I can't confirm if it is herself that issued that statement, and I don't even know that to Zalomes. I don't know her, but I'm just trying to acknowledge that I've seen that statement, and now, so here is the issue. First things first. Actually, I've decided I might not talk about this the way I'm going to do tonight. I might not dedicate time to talk about this later on until Maria Zalomes appears in court. But for tonight, I just want us to discuss a few points. The first thing is that I want you to know that I am not looking at this issue from a political point of view. It is not my intention to look at this issue from a political point of view and attack the UPND and President Hichilema. It's not my intention. But I must not be biased. I must not be biased. I must not be hypocritical. I need to put myself on record on a matter of high public interest such as this one. It is hypocritical for me to, to be selective in issues that I discuss. I call myself a public lawyer, and as a public lawyer, I look at the issues, of high public interest. I look at issues of high public interest. So, this issue of Maria Zalomes is a matter of high public interest. Just like the issue of Edgar Chagwalungu is of high public interest. And a person that interacts with the public, like myself, it would be hypocritical and biased for me not to comment on the issue of Maria Zalomes. I need to come out and state my position clearly. And this is what I have done. Now, where we are coming from, we were talking about Maria Zalomes being arrested. We were calling for Maria Zalomes to be arrested. Yesterday, in the night, there was news that came on social media that Maria Zalomes has been arrested. I didn't post it on my page earlier because I wanted to confirm that the statement I read on social media actually came from the police. Unfortunately, up to now, I have failed to independently confirm that that statement came from the police. The statement is believed to have come from the police, and it was signed off by a police spokesperson, Ray Hamonga. But there is nowhere where we have seen a statement that is really coming from the police. If you check the website of the Zambia police, because most of the times the Zambia police release their statement on their pages. Most of the times they release their statements on their page. But if you check the Zambia police page, at least from the time that I checked, that statement is not there. On the Zambia police page, it's not there. ZNBC did report about this issue, but only posted it on social media. I have not seen it in their news items. I've not watched tonight's news, so I'm not sure. Maybe they covered it tonight, but as of yesterday, they didn't. However, there is a posting on the Zambian ZNBC page, which is talking about Maria Zalomes being arrested. Other than that, it is difficult to fully confirm that the police issued the statement that is circulating on social media. Most of you who have come to know about Maria Zalomes being arrested, you have just been reading on social media what is happening on social media. But you have not been able to get a confirmation from Ray Hamonga. Now, this for me is a failure to do due diligence to cases of high public interest by the police. By the fact that we can't independently see the a statement from the Zambia police, it shows, you know, negligence on the part of the police, or it shows, you know, poor communication on the part of the police. The police should be able to communicate effectively and in a transparent manner when it relates to issues of high public interest. The issue of Maria Zalomes is of high public interest, and as such, the police should be able to come out clearly, leaving no doubt of what is happening relating to that case. This is very, very important on the part of the police. The police cannot afford to be mediocre when dealing with a matter of high public interest, like the issue of Maria Zalomes. Now, why is the issue of Maria Zalomes of high public interest? I have noted that, like I've said, I've already noted that, you know, there is a statement which is being attributed to Maria Zalomes' elder sister, Inotu Zalomes, saying, leave my sister alone, give her a break. And from the statement there, it is confirming that Maria Zalomes is in cells. Now, she's coming out like that to say, why are you talking about her? And well, she's right to ask that question. And I asked myself, why am I, talking about this? Why is this case of high public interest? This case is of high public interest, number one, because of the mother to Mwangala, to Maria Zalomes. This is why it is a case of high public interest, because Maria Zalomes, apart from herself being, being a public figure, she is also connected to the mother, who is holding one of the highest offices in our country. Electoral Commission of Zambia chairperson, that is a big office. That office is not a small office. They administer elections in the country. They pronounce, they out of their work comes out a president. Out of their work comes out a president. So that office is very big and sensitive for that matter. That office is big and sensitive for that matter. So yes, Maria Zalomes may be on her own, 40 years old, with children and everything. Unfortunately, we cannot look at Maria Zalomes away from the mother at this point in time. We can't. Because her mother is holding a very big office in our country, a very sensitive office. We cannot look at her separately, much as she's an adult, much as she is a public figure in her own right, as somebody who has sold herself as Z Farmer. Maria Zalomes is in the public domain as Z Farmer, as we know her. But that, as it may be, she cannot be delinked from the mother who is holding that high office. She can't. That office is very big, like I've said. So this is why we are talking about this. This is why this case has become of high public interest. This person that died, without diluting the matter, this is not the only murder case that we have in the country. We have so many murder cases. And yet we're not talking about them, because whoever may be involved is not as obliquitous as, Maria Zalomes and the mother. There is a difference here. So this is why we are talking about it. unfortunately, when it involves a person of high public, a person who is in public domain, I mean, the case draws attention from the public. So please, excuse us, you need to understand us, where we are coming from. Where we are coming from. And this issue relates on, the rule of law, relates on good governance, relates on good governance. This is why it is important that this matter is handled, very well, or whatever it is, what is the word? Diligently. The case must be handled diligently, because it borders on, rule of law and good governance. These are very important. Rule of law and good governance. President Hakainde Hichilema has been repeatedly coming out, pledging to Zambians that his government respects the rule of law. His government has no sacred cows. His government does not segregate in terms of applying the law. The president has been coming out very, very clear. So, a case like Maria Zaromes puts the pronouncements of the president to the test. This case of Maria Zaromes indicts those statements of President Hakainde Hichilema. How does the UPND government handle this matter, which involves a public figure as well as a daughter of somebody who is holding one of the highest offices in our country? It puts those statements of President Hakainde Hichilema to the test. If this case is not handled properly, those pronouncements of President Hakainde Hichilema are questioned. They are questioned. And eventually, these are the issues now that filter back into politics. A case that is not supposed to be political, now it goes back into politics because the president has been pledging, respecting the rule of law. And yet we have somebody who is connected to someone who is in government, holding a high office, being treated differently. So this is where now the politics comes in. I say that after she was arrested, I felt like, okay, I mean, since she has been arrested, I'll leave it there. And surely, I think it's not personal from my point of view. It's not personal. So if she has been arrested, definitely our focus would be, what charge is she given? And then we look forward to her appearing in court. The problem that is here now is that the statements, there is no formal statement which we can evidently point to say, this is the statement from the police. Like I have said, it is not on Zambia Police official page. Why is the statement of Maria Zaromes not on Zambia Police page? Why? Why? We have all these small cases, coming up on the page of the Zambia Police. Yes, I know that it's not all the statements that the Zambia Police uploads on their page, but this one should have been uploaded. This one should have been uploaded. This one should have been posted on the Zambia Police page. Why? Because it is of high public interest, because it is putting the UPND government and President Hakainde Hichilema to the test. How do they handle cases relating to high profile people who are connected to the government? So for that reason, the police should have done that. And even at this point in time, I am asking the police that please give the country an update on Maria Zaromes, because this case is of high public interest. This case puts President Hakainde Hichilema's leadership to the test. For that matter, I am insisting that even at this point in time, give an update on Maria Zalomes, because right now, we are not sure if indeed Maria Zalomes has been arrested. We are not sure. This is why some people are saying, at which police station is she at? Okay? This is why people are asking, at which police station is she at? The sister is saying she's in custody, she has left children, but where is she? This is why people are asking. Of course, the police are not obliged to tell the nation where somebody is being detained. The police are not obliged. They are not obliged to tell the nation to say, oh, we are holding Chilufya Tayali is at such and such police station. No, they are not. Of course, they should tell the family. But it is not necessary that the police, devour such information to the public for a number of reasons. It could be security, okay? It could be security. So, they are not obliged. However, statements must be very clear coming from the police. Then, now, there is also another issue which is coming up, where people are saying, there is this story on social media, which is saying the mother went to Kasanda police and released Maria Zalomes. They are even putting a registration number of a vehicle that picked her up. From my point of view, I have failed to confirm up to now. I failed to confirm, like number one, I failed to confirm if indeed Maria Zalomes was arrested by the police. I have failed to confirm. Number two, I have failed to confirm if indeed she was arrested and the mother went and got her out of the cells. I failed to confirm. It's difficult. But much as I am far away, I am very much present on what is going on. And I think I've got my own sources of information. And if I can't really confirm some of these issues, then it becomes a problem. It becomes a problem because then I am, you can say, if I don't know, how can other ordinary Zambians know? How can other ordinary Zambians know? So there is a problem here. There is a problem here. And I don't like to speculate. I don't like to speculate. Yes, I've spoken to this one and that one. But when I'm coming to give information here, I want to give the right information. I don't want to give hearsay. Oh, no, this one said this one said this. I don't do that. So as far as I'm concerned, I am still not sure if Maria Zalomes indeed was arrested. I am not sure if indeed Maria Zalomes has been released on bond on Sunday. I am not sure. I can't confirm that. Who can confirm? It is the police. It is the police. It is not right that we should stay in darkness. The police should be able to confirm. The police should be able to give this information to the general public. Baka Pokola, you are lagging behind. Bamsamba, you are lagging behind. It is not too much. It is not. It is not talking too much, or asking too much, or expecting too much from the police to ask for this information that you clearly, transparently give an update on Maria Zalomes' case. I don't think we are out of order. I don't think we are out of order. I think what we are asking is what we deserve as a general public. Can you give us information relating to Maria Zalomes? Now, there is in the statement of the sister Enoch Zalomes, saying, well, this is what's the point there? There is a point to say, she's an adult, she's on her own. Don't link it to our mother. It is being suggested that don't link this story to our mother. This person is an adult. Okay? Yeah, you may be right. You may be right. You are right. To some extent you are right, but to some extent no. And I will pick an example of President Hakainde Hichilema. Though the scenarios are different, but they have the same principle. President Hakainde Hichilema had his son undergo training at ZNS, and from what we have come to learn, clearly this boy was not treated differently from other recruits, at least from what we have gathered. President Hakainde Hichilema's son is an adult, by the way. President Hakainde Hichilema's son is an adult. He underwent a ZNS training, and we didn't even know about it. We only came to learn about it when this man who is celebrating 4 years of being in office, you know, I would have said a lot of things. Clayson Hamasaka, I saw, you know, to my propaganda trying to, you know, lift Clayson. You know, he has been in office for 4 years. I would have made meat or made a story out of that. But I have left it because he's still part of the presidency that I want to promote. So I have spared Clayson, but really, if I can say a sentence, is that Clayson is celebrating 4 years of being in that office. What has he done? What are his successes? If Clayson looks at himself to say, I've been in this office for 4 years, what are his successes? What are his scores? Clayson had more successes at Watchdog than at State House. At State House, I don't think he should even be taking pictures to post on social media to say, I've been in this office for 4 years. Anyway, why I'm mentioning that? Because he is the problem when it comes to Hakainde Hichilema's son. He's the one that created that problem, which the opposition feasted on. Now, the issue is that this boy did not get any preferential treatment, at least from what we have heard. You know, at least from what we have seen. Because surely, this boy, I mean, I'm imagining if it was one of those children of some of these high-profile people being at ZNS, we would have heard stories there. We would have heard stories. But there is no one story that has come out. This boy, even when he was being commissioned, nobody noticed him. Nobody noticed him. Because he was treated like anybody else. And that, for me, that is good that is good parenthood. That is good parenthood. It means that President Hakainde Hichilema had instilled discipline in his children. President Hakainde Hichilema had made it clear to this young man to say, much as you are an adult, when you go there, can you conduct yourself well? Much as he was like, much as, yes, he's an adult, but we cannot delink this young man from the father. And we need to applaud the father for instilling discipline in this child. Because he would have imbalanced Hakainde Hichilema there at ZNS. We would have heard stories. We would have heard stories. And these stories, there is no way we are going to delink President Hakainde Hichilema. There was not going to be a way. We are going to delink them. But in this instance, he behaved so well, and therefore, even the president must be commended that he guided the child very well. Similarly, when you talk about Maria Zalomes, much as she's an adult, and the mother is holding that office, and she's being delinquent. She's being delinquent publicly. There is no way we are going to say, no, she's an adult, and no. The behavior of Maria Zalomes compromises the mother. And especially this case whereby a crime has been committed, somebody has been killed, somebody's child has been killed. There is no way you can say, no, the mother has got nothing to do with this. No. Unfortunately, she is supposed to guide the daughter, in a way that, I mean, we applaud her, like the way we are applauding President Hakainde Hichilema. And we take it that even the police, the way they are behaving, it is because of the mother. Unfortunately, we are taking it to say the police are behaving in the manner they are doing. It is because of the mother. It is because of the mother. That's how we are taking it. We can't delink that. This is why it is important. The children of those who are in high offices, or the relatives, to behave in a particular manner. It is very, very important. I mean, I can give an example of myself. There was a time when my daughter, when she was at secondary school, she was involved in some illicit behavior at that school. She was involved in some illicit behavior. And I was once a chairperson of that school. And of course, I am in the public domain. When the issue came in the staff room and they were discussing, there were some teachers that thought that I was going to come gun blazing defending my child, because in the staff meeting, they decided to suspend my child for 3 months together with other girls. For one full term, they decided to suspend my child for one full term. Was it one full term or 1 year? No, it was one full term. Together with others. But my daughter was only participating in whatever was happening. She was not the principal offender. We will be talking about that. And to some people, they thought because my child was not the principal offender, I will come out and start defending my child and blah, blah, and blah, blah. Especially that I was once a PTA chairman of that school. But when I went there, I literally said, I mean, let the school decide. Whatever the school have decided, that is what we are going to follow. I never made an issue with the school or anybody. No, I never defended my child. I allowed, in this case, the rule of law of that school, to take its course. Just like President Hakainde Hichilema allowed his child, to run through ZNS training without, being treated differently. President Hakainde Hichilema would have also done that, would have said, no, my child cannot eat together with others, food will be coming because of... He would have come up with all sorts of excuses, but he didn't. Similarly, I'm giving myself an example. They say, do unto others what you'd like them done to you. Okay? I did it. I didn't, stand up and start defending the child. So even in this instance, Maria Zalomes would have guided the child to make sure that the rule of law takes its course. But from the way the police have been behaving, we see that it's like they are trying to favor her because of the mother. This is not good from the police point of view. This is not good from a political point of view, where President Hakainde Hichilema has been coming out strongly to say, we want to respect the rule of law. We don't want sacred cows. So this case is putting those statements of President Hakainde Hichilema to the test. And this is why I don't know the situation. Number one, the police should issue a statement. Number two, Vamwangala Zalomes must encourage the child. Must encourage, yes, much as she's 40 years old, she's still her child. And she is in public domain. She should be able to show that her child is going through, the due process of the law. And she's not being shielded because of her. Because if that happens, then we start questioning her character. We start questioning her character. We start questioning her impartiality. We start questioning her job as ECZ chairperson. We will be wondering to say, will this woman give us, a fair, what is it? What is it? There is elections, fair elections. There's another word I'm forgetting, which is very important. Will she give us a transparent and fair elections? Okay? Will she? Because if she has got interest, if she's protecting a child like this, it is likely that in an event that during the elections, she will try to make sure that the UPND, a free and fair election, thank you. She will try by all means to ensure that, a government that will favor her child goes through. And in this particular case, we will be saying, she will do everything possible, to make sure that Hakainde Hichilema comes back into power. Because she has got an interest to protect. She has to protect her child. And in turn, inadvertently, she will be decampaigning President Hakainde Hichilema. Because we people will be looking at President Hakainde Hichilema to say, this man is not serious. This man is compromised. And even when the elections are held, if Hakainde Hichilema wins, there will be people that will be saying, no, ECZ is run by a compromised person. They can't declare the true results of the elections because, they are protecting their interests. If Hakainde Hichilema goes, Maria Zalomesi's case will resurface, and so on and so forth. So she compromises her position. This is why it is best that in such situations, the police handle the case diligently. The behavior of Maria Zalomesi is remorseful, and she follows the due process of the law. So we can't, at the end of the day, we cannot avoid dragging in Mwangala Zalomesi. And later on, we will also drag in President Hakainde Hichilema. And it can come and affect the elections. Remember, this is something that politicians take lightly. What is being discussed in public, that is politics. You can win an election with votes, But if people do not accept you, what is being said, there can be fewer people. The majority of people, they go and vote for you. But those who are talking, the voices that are out there are louder than the votes. You can actually lose your power. You cannot rule. They can force you not to rule. This is where you see this power sharing coming in. This is where you see this power sharing coming in. Because you find that somebody who has lost an election, but he has got the capacity, to filter a narrative in the public that no, this person has not won. You see people, coming out strongly in a manner that they make it difficult for you to rule. Politics is about perceptions. Politics is about what goes out in the public. By UPND, they seem to be relaxing on that. They seem to be relaxing on that. And sometimes, you know, they don't even know what they are saying. Their messaging is very poor. It's very, very poor. You know, it's very, very poor. But I can assure you, what people say out there is very important. What people say out there is very important. You are in power by UPND today. You are in power only because the people are agreeing that you should be in power. That's why you are in power. You are in power because there is a general consensus that yes, you should be in power. There is a general consensus that President Hakainde Hichilema should be in power. If a narrative comes in the general public, much as we are saying Hakainde Hichilema doesn't have a competitor, Hakainde Hichilema doesn't have a competitor, listen to me and listen good. We are currently saying Hakainde Hichilema doesn't have a competitor. There is no opposition. There is no opposition. But trust me, a good campaign, good propaganda fused into the public, Hakainde Hichilema will find it very difficult to rule. Very difficult. Very difficult to rule. Very difficult. You don't rule because you have got that box at instrument of power. That is just that's just a symbol. That is just a symbol. An instrument of power. The one who has the instrument of power. That is just a symbol. It is just a symbol. No, we have the military and whatever. All those, they are just a symbol of the state. The real power is in the people. The real power is in the people. And if somebody manages to confuse the people, you can find it difficult to rule. My point is that don't take it lightly. Don't take it lightly. Don't let some of these issues erode the confidence of the people. Don't. And today, we're talking about Maria Zalomes. And you might think to say, no, we are comfortable. I mean, these people, they will just talk and it will go. Believe you me, out of this story, I don't think you are gaining people. You are losing people. Out of this story, I don't think there will be people that will say, this is very good. This is very good. I think now I like UPND. No. There are some cases that just subtract. This case, I don't think you can gain popularity out of it. You can't. Instead, you will lose a number of people. A number of people will be like, no, how can they treat this matter like this? How can they? And those people, they are like hemorrhage. You know, if every day people are coming out of your bus, at the end of the day, you have very few people in that bus. In other words, you have very few people supporting you. If every day you are losing people, a good political party in power is a political party that, keeps adding on, to its support base. But if you are losing, it's very dangerous. Now, Papa, it is very, very dangerous. Now, that point I have made. Now, there is another issue that I wanted to talk about, because some of you are saying, no, Maria Zalomesi should not be charged with murder. Okay? Maria Zalomesi should not be charged with murder. Why? Because she did not participate. How are you going to prove that Maria Zalomesi participated in beating that young man? Some of you are even suggesting, no, it's going to be manslaughter. From my point of view, that is a clear case of murder. That is a clear case of murder. That case is a clear case of murder. Why do I say it's a clear case of murder? This boy was beaten. This boy was beaten. And as a result of, that beating, the boy died. So that is murder. Some people are talking about that video to say, no, in that video, he appears not to have been beaten. I don't know what you are looking at. I don't know what you are looking at. Because even in that video, that boy is seen to have been beaten. He's seen to have been beaten. And leave alone all that. He's tied and he's complaining. He's tied. He's complaining. He's in pain. Pain is being inflicted on that boy, even in that video. So some of you are trying to be clever and trying to make all sorts of excuses. But that boy, we can clearly see that boy, he is in pain. Right there, he is in pain. We can see that boy has been beaten. Go back and look at that video. Go back and look at that video. So I don't understand to say, from there, I don't know what happened. Wherever they went, that's where they beat him. Why are you trying to create this narrative? Trying to move it away to say, like, what you are trying to do is that, the time when Maria Zaromes was present, he was okay. Surely, just what you are seeing there when Maria Zaromes is interacting with that boy, is that boy okay? Is that boy okay? And then, the autopsy is saying that, it is a brain injury. How can you say, no, that boy at that point, he was okay? Maybe by that time, the brain injury had already been done. Maybe. How can you tell? No. Because it's not all the time that you are hit on the head and you start hallucinating or you become confused. No. You can even be okay and later on die. We have got people that have been shot in the head and they are still okay and they have a bullet in the head. So, those of you who are trying to say, no, at that point, the boy was okay. I am asking you, what medical eyes do you have? What microscopic eyes do you have to say at that point that boy was okay? What microscopic eyes do you have to tell that no, that boy at that point he was okay? At that point he had not been beaten. Because I know there are people that are trying to create a narrative. They'll say the boy did not die in the hands of Maria Zaromes and the friends. The boy died when he was taken to police, when he was in police custody. You want to shift the responsibility. You want to shift the blame to somebody else. The question is, at which point was this boy beaten? And how can you tell? How can you tell? We don't know of any other person that beat up this boy apart from Maria Zaromes, her partner, and the 3 workers. So, the issue of saying, no, he died somewhere else or he was beaten somewhere else, I don't think that can stand. We don't know anybody else who beat up that boy apart from Maria Zaromes and her company. That's all. That video, you cannot say, no, he looks okay. No. He's talking, yes. We have people with a bullet in the head and he's talking. He's talking. So by the fact that he's responding, it doesn't mean that the guy was not beaten. At that moment, the guy was not beaten. No. And it beats all logical sense. It beats all logical sense or common sense. Are you telling me, when they got him, they were not beating him? When they were doing all those videos, they were not beating him. When they were tying him, they were not beating him. Do you expect that? Do you think any reasonable person would accept that? So it doesn't make sense. That boy, you cannot say, no, he was not beaten at that moment. No. You are trying to shift the blame from these people. That's what you are trying to do. But What evidence do you have to say at that moment he was not beaten? I know you can turn around and also ask me the question to say, but what evidence do you have that this boy was beaten at that moment? I can't answer that. All I know is that the people that are seen beating that boy, it is Maria Zaromesi and the company. And this boy is now dead. At which point they beat him, whatever, I don't know. But I know of the only people that beat up that boy, it's Maria Zaromesi and the company. And the boy is dead. Murder is, you are charged of murder when you inflict pain on somebody and that person dies. Some people are coming up to say, no, murder, you must have the intent. They didn't intend to kill him. They didn't intend to kill him. When you are beating up somebody, what is your intention? When you are beating up somebody, what is your intention? Isn't it to afflict harm on somebody? And that harm, I mean, can result in somebody's death. A slap can result in somebody's death. You can't say, no, I didn't intend to kill him. I only slapped him. Unfortunately, you may not have intended to kill him, but your action has caused this person to die. That's murder. That's murder. You can't say, no, my intention was not to kill him, and yet you afflicted bodily harm on this person, and the person dies. That's it, it's murder. It's murder. So those arguments to say, no, intent, whatever, when you are beating somebody, you can't come and say, no, I didn't intend to kill him. I didn't intend to kill her. The best that you should do, if you don't intend to kill somebody, don't inflict any pain on somebody. Don't inflict any bodily harm on somebody. Don't. Because even a slap can make somebody die. Because you can slap a person and, by that impact, the brain might, the blood might go into the brain and a person dies. That shock can cause a person to die. Just that trauma of receiving a slap can cause somebody to die. Nganifo fwe kwetama operation inomba. Not kwata operation. I've got an operation. I've got a wound. I'm looking okay like this. Nde water. You get upset. You slap me. I mean, whatever it is, that is not okay here. I end up dying. And there are so many people. There are so many people who are in a fragile state. Much as they may be talking too much, much as they may be wandering into your property, for trespassing, but unfortunately they are weak. And the state, according to murder, it doesn't matter in which state I was before you inflict pain on me. No. I may be weak as a result of the operation and everything, but if you hit me and that operation becomes weaker and I die, you can't say, no, he died because of an operation. No, because you slapped me. Because you slapped me. So this case is a clear case of murder. Gertrude Soko is saying manslaughter is also a case. Manslaughter, you also need to understand when you talk about manslaughter. Manslaughter, it is not when you hit somebody to say, no, I didn't intend to kill him. I didn't intend to kill him. Manslaughter is accident. Manslaughter is an accident where you kill somebody by accident. That is manslaughter. Was that boy killed by accident? He was being beaten. They were inflicting pain on him. So there is nothing like manslaughter. It was not an accident. Manslaughter is an accident. I didn't intend to kill him. But, then this is what happened. If you push a person, for example, you push a person, and that person falls down, hits a rock, and, on the head, and he dies. It is not manslaughter. It is not manslaughter. It is your action. You push this person, and that is how he hit on the rock, and he dies. You cannot charge you cannot say, no, it's manslaughter. No. because you pushed him or you pushed her. Be very careful. I'm talking about these issues so that we can protect ourselves from getting into conflict with the law. Manslaughter is a situation where, you know, maybe I've got a gun. I'm cleaning my gun. I'm cleaning my gun, and then all of a sudden, you know, the gun goes off and it shoots somebody. Somebody dies. That is manslaughter. That is manslaughter. Because I am innocently cleaning my gun. Cleaning my gun innocently. And then, you know, by mistake, the gun shoots and it hits somebody. That person dies. That is a case where you can argue manslaughter. That is a case where you can argue manslaughter. Maybe I'm playing with my child, for example. You are playing with a child. You are playing with a child. Or two lovers. They are playing around and, you know, they are running. They are running. And then, you know, as a result, somebody trips and falls. Because you are running together, you are playing. Trips and falls. And that person dies. That is manslaughter. That is manslaughter. It is an accident. Not where you intentionally beat a person and you say it's manslaughter. There is no manslaughter here. There is no manslaughter here. There is no manslaughter. There is no accident. These people were intentionally beating this person, so there is no manslaughter. Then there is another issue that some of you are bringing up to say, no, she didn't participate in beating this guy. She didn't participate. She didn't participate. What does the law say? What does the law say? Here it is, you know, parties to offense. Parties to offense. And I want to read it so that mufwe. When an offense, I think I need to make this bigger. And as such, I need to read it from this side. Parties to the offense. So, here it says, when an offense is committed, each of the following persons is deemed to have taken part in committing the offense and to be guilty of the offense and may be charged with actually committing it. That is to say, okay? That is to say, every person who actually does the act or makes the omission which constitutes an offense. So they are saying, first up in 21:1, it says, when an offense is committed, each of the following person is deemed to have taken part in committing the offense and to be guilty of the offense and may be charged with actually committing the offense. So, every person who actually does the act, the one who participates, does the act, can be charged. In this instance, all those who beat that boy, they should be charged. Then it says, or makes an omission which constitutes an offense. Meaning, in this case, Maria Zaromes was present. Even if Maria Zaromes did not beat this boy, but by the fact that she was there, Maria Zaromes had the powers to stop those people from beating her. Maria Zaromes had the powers. Remember, Maria Zaromes, the three boys are her workers. So she had the powers. And then the other guy is her partner, who is even younger than her. Maria Zaromes, clearly, among all those, had the powers to stop the beating of this boy, thereby saving this boy from being killed. But she did not, even if she was just standing there. as long as she did not stop these people from beating that boy, which later resulted in his death, Maria Zalomes, according to the law here, she is guilty and should be charged together with those that were beating the boy. That is what the law is saying. It is not me. That is what the law is saying. Maria Zalomes was there. Utivuta iwe. Watipeleka kunja kwa panja pafamu. Watibweza. What is your problem? She participated. She was there. She was even taking the video. She was there. There is no way Maria Zalomes can escape this. It's murder. It's murder. Why? Because the boy was beaten. The autopsy is saying the boy died as a result of, that beating. So it is murder. So even as we are waiting for updates, we don't expect that Maria Zalomes will be charged with a lesser charge here. Vaka Pokola, don't think that we are fools. The law is meant for people to read and understand. We may not be lawyers, but we understand. We are reading the law. And the law is very clear. Even if you are just there, you didn't take part, you are liable. You are liable. So don't come up with the issue of no, what. No. Maria Zalomes should be charged with murder. And when we go to court, then we will hear now what really happened. And maybe there, she can be acquitted. And maybe that is when, those issues of manslaughter can come in. But manslaughter definitely cannot come in here. Cannot come in here. This one is clearly murder. This one is clearly murder. So don't play as Vakapokola. Muke sepona mafani charges hapa. Next to comfort, no, she's on bail. This is murder. And we have many cases where we can point to. For example, the case of Chilufya. Chilufya was not there when the act was being done. He was not there, but he's inside. There is another case that I was remembering. You may just be there. I've also met a boy who was, in Mtendere there. Not Mtendere, Kalingalinga. The boy, a boy stole from, these petty thieves. He got, a side mirror, at a club there in Kalingalinga. He got a side mirror, and when he got a side mirror, they saw the boy. They got the boy. And they started beating the boy. There is a guy that was, who claimed that he was trying to prevent people from beating this boy. But at the end of the day, the guy was charged of murder. Because he was there. He was there. Yeah. The issue of Mumbipiri is another case indeed. The issue of Mumbipiri is another case where, we all know that a gun is not something that the two of you can shoot. One person shot. But Mumbipiri was detained because she was part of it. Of course, later on, she was acquitted. Later on, she was acquitted. But the scenario here is really different from Mumbipiri. I don't see Maria Zalomes walking away from this unless it is about the issue of the rich and powerful. Politics are at play. Then she can be acquitted. But we will leave it to the court. Me, in this address, I'm basically pleading with the police that you give us an update on this matter so that you can clear the air. This case is of high public interest. This case can filter into politics because, we want to see that the UPND government is respecting the rule of law as President Hakainde Hichilema has been promising the Zambian citizens. And at the same time, we want to make sure that, the family of this young person, they feel that justice has been served. There is a family. There are people who have lost this young man. So we want to see these people must feel to say, yeah, justice has been served. Because if they don't, these are issues that spiral into something else. So please, do the right thing. do the right thing. I think basically that's what I wanted to say on this matter for tonight. I will not dilute my I will not dilute my presentation with politics. I'll come back for politics on Wednesday. Unless there is something that you want to clarify, I can open the phone lines. You can call me. Let me get the phone. You can call me. If there is an issue that you want to clarify, social media also, some of the pictures that come, I don't even understand. Damn it. Very silly, man. Some of these pictures, nonsense. How can I? That's stupid. Some of these things that come on social media, gosh. Lord. Anyway, so if there is something that you want to clarify, at this point, you can call me and I can take your call. On Wednesday, I'll be talking politics. I'll be talking politics because you see, some of these issues, they don't escalate if there is a strong opposition. If there is a strong opposition, people would come up and, government fears. But when the opposition is weak, it becomes difficult, Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Hello?
Good evening or afternoon, depending on time.
Yes, my dear. Please go ahead.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to talk on Maria's arrest if I go further? I'm allowed?
Yes, please go ahead.
I just wanted to comment on that. Okay. Yeah. I wanted to comment on that issue because I've been seeing comments where majority of people, they're busy supporting that. There's no evidence that she did it. What people don't understand in Zambia is when you're in a situation where someone is being beaten to death and yet they are not doing anything. In short, you're simply agreeing with what is happening on that scene. And you're just as guilty as the person who's beating that person. Even if you didn't even slap that person. It's the same thing in situations where you're somewhere where you're hearing people talking about someone that they want to kill, and then they tell you to bring that person to that location. You going, getting that person, and bringing that person to that area where you'll be killed. Even if you don't kill that person, those people kill him. You're just as guilty as the one that pulled the trigger because you lured that person into that situation. Without you luring that person in that situation, that could have been prevented. Same thing in this situation. That is her farm. She had the power to stop those guys doing what they were doing, but she did not. So for that reason, she needs to be prosecuted just the same as those guys. Same sentence. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Indeed, that's just what it is, and that's what the law says. So, Maria Zalomes cannot escape being charged with murder in this case. She can't. And I am insisting that, the police do a good job on this. I am insisting that, the mother, who Maria Zalomes herself has spoken of highly, give counsel to her, or make sure that the police do not fear, to act because of her. I think this is one of those issues that people find difficult to discuss. So I'll leave it there for tonight. Thank you very much for watching. On Wednesday, we'll be talking politics. Thank you very much, and may God bless you. May God bless Zambia. Good night.